Radiant, we've been seeing it with the coin flip advantage. More teams are using it to get themselves on the dire side. Some teams still fall back on taking it for first pick. Do you think there's a priority between both of these teams? Which one might, have favor for going for dire side or not? I see MVP as a team is like, we'll just take what we get. If we have the coin flip, we'll probably just go for first pick here. But I'm curious if Liquid feel the same way or not.
Maybe going first pick, do you think?
First pick for MVP? Yeah, definitely.
No, I wasn't sure of the coin flip result here, but it does look like it will be MVP on the dire side. Liquid with the first pick on Radiant. And we already saw a ban onto the Bounty Hunter, something we were talking about a bit.
So it's very clear that you see MEP Phoenix because they know that they want to play fast pace and they are just worried about the enemy having a hero that can match the pace like I'm talking about, which is Enchantress. And Liquid removing the Venge, which is quite strange. Not sure this might signal a bad rider pick that they want, or they just don't want MVP to have like the Roshan potential because they're on Dire.
Are they going to ban Earth Spirit, or are they going to risk letting Jerix take it here? Ooh. And what also have they just kind of left out there?
Prophet.
Still in there.
Yeah, Liquid will play Prophet.
This is a tough choice.
It's like
right
a trade.
now.
Like we mentioned this. Trading Earth Spirit for Prophet, and you said it wasn't worth it. Ben said it wasn't worth it.
I mean,
I think it's worth. I think it's worth it for the Earth Spirit team. I don't think it's worth it for the NP team.
Well, I mean, I've said it many a time. I feel like Jerix, it doesn't show on Dota Buff at the moment because maybe the lack of play, but I feel like he is the best Earth Spirit out there at the moment. It looks like MVP are not going to risk it, so that means that Nature's Prophet will be handed over to Liquid.
This is already a good sign, not giving Prophet to MVP. So, a step in the right direction as well. And Mind Control obviously also plays the hero a lot. So this would actually give them much more flexibility in terms of their draft, better lanes, which we talk about, which is extremely important against MVP Phoenix. So the other option that MVP has right now is to go back to their Whiz strat, because they don't have the Prophet. They need something else to replace it. And as we saw before in the group stage, it was the Bristleback.
Do you think we'll see the OD come out of the draft very early on? Because both teams love playing.
Yeah, it's possible.
I think second phase personally, because
they might first phase here, don't you think? Like, because you can actually put it on the safe lane against Prophet, which is one of the better carries.
Yeah, but what would they do for a replacement from the off lane though? That's the most important.
Ogre Magi right? Second pick.
Whoa!
Hello.
MVP just saying we're going to continue to play our own game. We're going to do our own draft, and it's on you to respond to it here. Jug is not something too unfamiliar. They've already played it twice here at the Shanghai Major, and they have, of course, a 2-0 record with it. But Ogre McGee?
Ogre's he's probably one of the few supports that can actually zone and Prophet.
He's the replacement for the Tusk of Speed, like all these type of heroes that you see these two teams have. Like he's gonna roam at level 1 and he's very strong.
Oh yeah.
And he's good at buying mangoes, like what Ben likes. Mango Ogre, run around, help your team, just to secure the lanes. Like the lanes are all this hero cares about, like to secure the lanes for his team.
Starts with that ridiculous, 30,000 armor, 50,000 HP regen.
I think it's like one branch and you have 8 armor.
It's crazy. Imagine giving that, ring of protection early, and he is just an unstoppable tank. I'm sure that kind of irked Liquid a bit.
The Ulf build.
Yeah. Oh yeah. But they go with Ignite, and no one's gonna be running away. But Liquid are also gonna get a nice top priority grab for them. The Invoker. They have a pretty nice record with it this patch, 15 games, 13-2 record with that Invoker.
Yeah, but I don't think that's one of like the heroes that they are super comfortable with. Sometimes I see Fata playing, like he's not playing very well on the hero. There are good games, there are bad games. It's not like he's playing on like a Puck where every time you see him on Puck, it's like every game he plays on Puck is really, really good. Like he's very stable. But on Invoker, it's not like his best hero.
Maybe they want them to pick PL.
But they could just run something else. Oh, they're gonna ban it. See, okay. So it more or less might have a very high implication. That means that Liquid are gonna do an Exalt Invoker this game, regardless, with the Prophet, so they can play very fast pace in the early game to push.
What do you think about kind of MVP Phoenix deciding to prioritize Jerax's Phoenix over the Tusk? Yeah.
We thought it was unusual because Phoenix is a little bit slower, mostly good for Sloan Druid, good at team fight, but not terribly good for the lanes, which is what we thought Liquid might need to focus on. But maybe with the NP, they don't actually think they need to focus that much on lanes because they have that off-lane threat. What about Wisp? I think Wisp is like...
But because they went for the Ogre, I'm not sure whether they still want to go for the Wisp though. But they still might go for it. But I'm not very sure.
I'm just wondering what other offlaner can they do besides Nature's Prophet and a Wisp Bristle that can actually pressure their safe lane. I think that
Beastmaster maybe?
Beastmaster?
Yeah, Beastmaster is quite fast paced for that hero. And you can do, if you want to help the Beastmaster, you can do Ogre plus Beastmaster. It's still a fairly strong lane at the start of the game. So those are the options I see them having.
Okay.
Oh,
That's
no,
why.
okay.
That's,
That's why they banned the Phoenix, and something that we haven't seen them done yet this tournament.
So this
Exactly.
is their off-lane hero, most likely. I don't think they will actually play this hero on KO. I might be wrong.
Jared
But
takes Tusk.
Liquid is just going for their standard picks, the Tusk.
Obviously, their most popular pickup this patch, 26 games on the Tusk, a 20-6 record for Shanghai Major, 6 games, 4-2. It's a Jarek's classic, if you will. So,
I mean, what kind of carry do you think they are
Matumba
going to
Man.
get Matumba Man this game? I mean, you kind of Jara, he's still in the draft at the moment, but he's not going to be that great against the Jug and the LD if it does kind of scale late.
Slark
Yeah.
seems like the best one.
Yeah,
Getting
but
a
Slug is not that fast, you know.
Yeah.
And you have Invoker.
I think they have NP though. They can afford to, I think, go a little bit weaker on the carry because of the.
Oh, they would actually do MP safe lane too, right?
that's
Liquid.
something they have done this tournament already,
Okay.
is put Matumba Man on that Nature's Prophet in the safe lane.
But for now, MVP Phoenix is looking for their mid hero. But sometimes I remember I've seen QO play Juggernaut mid if the matchup allows him to. So they basically need another core and they need another support. But because they have Laundry on off lane this time, which is very different with Prophet because you can't help your team and you have to farm a lot more. So they might actually go for another core that's less farm orientated. You can just fight early with your team.
What would you think about a Witch Doctor, I was going to say,
Ooh.
possibly for either team?
Doom.
As we see MVP, they're going to
So
be pulling
greedy
out the
this time
Doom.
from MVP.
This is
is
feeling
like-
a bit different than their face rush style that we've been seeing from them
I think
so far.
they might actually just do a jungle Doom here.
That we saw from like OG before, and they are going to
They're
be
still
going
gonna go with
for
the
Gyrocopter.
I mean, they clearly know that MVP is a team that plays very fast, so they want heroes to play a fast tempo as well. I mean, I understand that we talk about how Gyro is not really that great against Lone Drew, it's not really that great against Juggernaut, but you have to look at the bigger picture, right? You want a carry that can actually help the team to play the tempo, to up the tempo, and Gyro is obviously one of the best carries to actually do that with your team. So right now you have Tusk Gyro, which is really good at making that level 6 rotation when Gyro wants to roam, and you have Sunstruck and Prophet. It's always like you roam with Gyro. You can even roam with Gyro alone because there's going to be a Prophet TPing into Sprout, so Gyro can potentially do a lot this game to actually run around and set up kills, especially on a Doom which is jungling, which MVP might do at this stage of the game.
So we think this is a completely different pace from MVP Phoenix.
Yeah, they're trying to play
complete greed.
They're trying to play so greedy right now.
I mean, it's a best of 3. It's game number 1. I guess if you want to change things up a bit, this is your best chance to do so.
I think this is the first game in the whole event that we see MVP going so greedy. Like, I'm not sure though. I think that they might actually have a really tough early game because if you look at Liquid, they have the Prophet, Invoker, and Tusk. So Prophet ganks with Sunstrike and Snowball is so scary.
They could play like a more aggressive Doom that starts off in the opponent's jungle.
China Doom?
China Doom.
So you're starting with Orb of Venom and you run around and hit heroes. That's
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about, Winner.
yeah.
Yeah. I think they can bully LD's lane a lot though. With
So you
with
dual lane Doom plus LD. That's what.
somewhat offensive jungle Doom. With I think if they play safe lane Doom, it's just gonna get. They're just gonna get bullied
Yeah,
everywhere.
I think so too.
Like before he gets level 6, they'll be like, "Wow, we lost all the lanes." So that's. I don't think that's a good pace for them.
So how do you finish this out for MVP when you already have so much greed on your team? Liquid even anticipate that possibly a Enigma was plausible here for MVP,
So they
but
think it's actually a core Doom.
I'm not very sure though. If they do Core Doom, so they're gonna have who's going? If they're going to do Core Doom, it means Lone Druid is mid.
or
no,
Jug?
Juggernaut is mid.
Yeah,
Safe lane Doom, off lane Lone Druid. So that's what Liquid is thinking right now.
but you would probably need someone by the side of Doom at that point. He's not super self-sufficient,
I feel like
is he?
they need Disable right now. They need.
Oh,
okay.
what this is got to be the Scrooge McDuck of lineups I've ever
I
seen.
mean, we talked about how Liquid might have been the team that could expect something from MVP. That I don't think they expected this.
No, I mean,
This
they're
is,
even like, I don't even know what's happening here.
It was like, we got them, guys.
So QO is going to be playing the PA, MP is going to be on Juggernaut, 4F going to handle the Lone Druid. So judging by that, the lanes will be probably PA mid, Juggernaut plus Ogre, possibly safe lane, or Ogre will just be roaming around, and Doom, like what Ben suggested, might be doing
China
roaming
Doom.
as well. Yeah, China Doom helping the Lone Druid, so
boy.
you secure the Lone Druid's farm.
Or helping the PA's lane.
Yeah, do you go aggro maybe? But make a lot of use out of the ogre? Because
Nah.
his best work is moving across the map.
I think they'll
obviously,
just
but now he
play-
might have to hang by the lane.
I think they'll just play like greedy and just roam the Doom and the Ogre.
I mean, do you think because of that, Liquid will try and go full in on the push, and we might see something like
Yeah, they might-
Kuroki Shadow Shaman come out here
They might just go like, as long as they play fast pace, I think that is the most important thing for Liquid.
on the trim?
Treon Protector, though, going to be coming out for Liquid. Man, something a bit different from
And
both sides.
I'm liking Liquid's lineup. Like, I feel like MVP's change of direction might actually hurt them a lot because the pace they have to play this game is absolutely different from the lineups that they usually play.
I like MVP's lineup more. I think they'll do aggro Doom and just run at you with the PA, the Lone Druid.
They have living armor.
Yeah, but they have Scorched Earth, they have Ogre Ignite, they have Juggernaut Spin, they have PA.
I believe Kuroki was right this time. Sorry, Ben.
I'm going with MVP.
So yeah, so this is the support jug, isn't it, Febby? Because it's MP Doom, Forever Line Druid, and Cure PA. It's support jug.
I'm switching this.
All right, well,
Let's see him do it.
flabbergasted seems to be a safe word to describe the panel right now. We'll see how the casters feel about this one. We send it over to the arena where we have Toby1 and Cinderin.
Thanks, Dakota. We definitely won't be lost for words here. Myself and Cinderin, we're going to be casting this one. Obviously, it's a dream. It's a dream for the MVP fanboys out there. You always want something different, unique, and that's MVP. Even if their roster has changed since TI, they've still held on to what has always made MVP fans a fan of this. It's just MVP being that great and giving you something new.
They are okay. So MVP's draft in this game has 4 heroes they haven't played so far in the tournament, and 2 heroes that haven't been played at all so far in the tournament. This is the first PA pick and the first Ogre. I'm at least very convinced that's the case. And the only hero in the current lineup that they played in previous games is the Juggernaut. But they played it as a core every single time, and now it's Febby on support. So everything is completely shifted here for MVP. I'm with Ben. I actually really like their lineup, and I think saying that it's slow-paced, they have heroes that benefit a lot from farm, but these cores can actually fight really early. Doom is good at fighting early. Lone Druid, sure, maybe a little bit slower pace, but once you get the Entangle in lane, he can join fights as well. And if you're playing a PA and Juggernaut, you've seen QO PA in the past. He's not scared of fighting when he's level 7. So
Oh, yeah.
it's not like super early fight with the Bounty Hunter and Prophet as we've seen before, but they can definitely start fighting Liquid after the first maybe 5 minutes.
And I'm looking forward to seeing that, because it kind of feels like when you first saw the draft coming up, it was like, okay, MVP, this timing is going to be really, really, really weird. Febby, they can't really go further with this. But they're actually going to run, okay, so they're running an aggro tri-lane with the Ogre, support Juggernaut, as well as Lone Druid. Normally when we've seen the support Juggernauts, it's this boots first and then just chase down the mid hero was normally like the place to go, but they're harassing this very defensive Treon Protector, who obviously wants to skill up living armor to help out all of his other lanes, but maybe this is one of these games where Kuro realizes what he's up against and he levels up Leech Seed, and they try and go for an opening themselves.
I think killing this lane 2 and 3 is going to be very, very difficult, and Jerax is having a hard time getting to his team, actually. He's just getting zoned out, essentially, by Ogre and Jugger sitting in between. Now, finally, Jerax will find a path through. Is being spotted by a ward, though.
Well, actually, okay,
This
so
is very interesting laning from MVP.
you ignite in the lane. I'm assuming this is meant to be this like a slow kind of combination, so then Juggernaut can just spin the target down.
Yep.
And for Rev, if he has the Orb of Venom also on his bear, that makes Febby's ability to find kills in this lane so much better. You still have the control of the shards from Jirax, and you'll still have like Matubman and Kuro being very, very tanky and have the ability to pump a lot more damage back out themselves. Let's actually leave that bottom lane for now and think about some of the other lanes. Middle lane, like you're running a melee hero up against a Quas Exort Invoker. How is QO meant to win this lane? You got a PMS on him, but you're also being harassed by Force Spirits. The shards fly in. QO, there's a little gap. for him to slip out of. But he was having very low armor when that attack first came in from Liquid.
Yeah, most melee heroes will struggle a lot against Exort Invoker, but PA obviously will benefit from getting Blur. I'm thinking QO will be skilling this on level 4, so that when the Force Spirits start coming out and start dealing damage, there's a very high chance that they just miss their attack and are an unfactor. And essentially all that QO wants from this lane is CS, and he doesn't have to kill the Invoker or pressure the Invoker very much. If they trade farm, it's a PA trading farm in the mid lane. And so far so good, he's got the same as Spada.
Yeah, which is kind of surprising, but it's the power of also Stifling Dagger. The other lane we haven't really looked at is what's happening up on the top lane. So it's the Nature's Prophet, one of the big highlight heroes of this tournament, especially one of MVP's heroes. And he's going up against a Doombringer, like a solo Doombringer core, and Doom is not only out-CSing him, but obviously you're running a Devour Doom. So he's going to be getting a lot more money than that Nature's Prophet. So MVP getting a lot out of it, every single one of their lanes, apart from, I can't even say apart from bottom, because Forev has the most amount of last hits.
Yeah, this laning stage for them is definitely going very well so far. And you said MVP can go for the Devour on Doom. I think this game, I'm actually curious. I don't know what MVP is going to do, but what mostly happens with Doom nowadays is that you go 1-4-4. You get a 1-point Devour just so you can get the creep, and then you go for the fighting-oriented build. Infernal Blade is incredible now compared to what Level Death was before in most situations. In the early mid-game, I would say it's just hands down a better ability. And MP can be joining fights very early. He's actually going to go on mind control. Top doing a lot of damage here. Might just try to run him down. No, he's going to hesitate.
He did have the speed aura, which allowed him to get that second hit in before
no boost,
Mind Control got back behind the tier 1 tower. But it's this bottom lane, I'm still waiting for it to like kind of explode. And Liquid, like maybe this is actually almost like the greatest thing. I remember Cap and I were casting a while back, and we're talking about the changes in the off lane with this new patch. And one of the primary things you had to do as an off laner is ensure that the safe lane had to have the protection from the two supports. Now obviously this is a different scenario because you're running like an aggressive tri-lane, but the result is still the same, where it becomes a straight 1v1 matchup in the mid as well as the top lane without any real influence. Like the one influence which G-Rex was able to give was a Sharp, which almost resulted in the death of QO, but it just wasn't enough. And now Fada, well, contest for the top rune. QO wants to go for it. The 4-minute rune will spawn up and Fada's actually going to take it. QO doesn't have anything to blink out to, and he doesn't have his level 6 up just yet, and Prophet, they're TPing in, they're looking for this kill on QO, but he gets in range of the creep wave. So Mind Control will rotate off the top lane, but it's actually bottom lane where the charge of spin. G-Rex is so low, he'll be the first blood. MVP, they will claim it. This aggro lane will finally bear fruit. And also the off lane of Mind Control, he TP'd into the mid, took a little bit too much damage, and now he's actually completely abandoned the top lane. He has to walk back to base before he TP's back out again. The same thing can be said about QO, however.
This is a big win for MVP. Prophet was starting to pressure MP a lot top. MP was dropping low on health, didn't really have any regen. But now that he's left alone, he should be perfectly fine in this lane. He's going to get level 6 while Prophet is pretty far away from it.
Look at the creep he got too. You talk about regeneration, he's finally managed to find something which is useful in his lane.
And returning to this lane is really difficult. There is a Mango available for this Doom, and he can just run down the Prophet and kill him off the moment he sees Jerax showing bottom. It's actually a flat out just a kill, I think. So Mind Control's got to be really careful in this top lane. Keeping his distance very well, and harassing with the treants.
I'm waiting for QO to actually, like, because he still hasn't hit his level 6 yet. And when he hits that, I know you were talking about like level 7 being his magic point on QO, where he's actually willing to come and join fights. Do we look to see a TP coming on QO the second he hits level 7, or is it even worth rotating earlier, considering like just how much domination you've had in that bottom lane? Can you bring QO and then just completely turn the tables there?
I don't think they have to. I think, if anything, you rotate and kill Fata mid, because they should have a pretty good feeling about this bottom lane. They've got the kill, Forev has great farm, they know they're shutting down Gyro fairly well. I still think Matomaman has done a good job with his 21 CS, given the lane he had. And because of this, Liquid are going to try to rotate top instead, but
they're going to find him.
I don't know if they can find this kill.
That's a level 3 Scorched Earth. They're going to fight through. Sunstrike's going to give him the extra damage.
Nice
and the Wrath of Nature, MP's regeneration, it will not be enough. Then you're right, that really took everything the Team Liquid had to kill him off then, without having to fully rotate out the Team Liquid players. But that was Wrath of Nature, that was Sunstrike, everything hit.
That's such a big Sunstrike too. If that misses from bo3, they have just wasted a minute of rotation. Like full smoke rotation almost all the way from bottom to top. MP could just run back to base fast, reset, and go top again.
MVP are trying to make the most out of the space which is being created with the death of the Doombringer. You rotated 2 heroes towards the top lane, so Dubu pulls the creep wave up, allowing MVP to deal direct damage into the tier 1 tower, and there's nothing Matubama can do about this. He's not level 6 yet, they're living armoring up, and MVP, if they really want to make this worth it, they have to kill off this tower, or else living armor is just going to regenerate back up again. So this has to be a proper committal. Looks like Mind Control's going to TP off that top lane. He can come to the bottom lane's aid, but it's already too late. PA will take, the last hit just killed off by the Dire. But MVP claimed their first tower 7 minutes in.
And so the panel were talking about this being slow pace and that MVP would need to farm up. And that is definitely true, but look at how aggressive they're playing still. Like, even though it's not very kill heavy,
Real trouble, Sunstrike, this time it will actually connect QO, he can blink away to the back line, Mind Control gets the sprout up, QO, he can't get out with the cycling dagger, yes he can, he's in the tree line, Baby Narrow being cold snapped up, the rest of Liquid focusing on the Juggernaut, there's nothing Dubu can do apart from trying to attempt to body block this out, but now he takes the damage and Team Liquid, is it too deep? You're going underneath the tier 2 towers, QO slowing up G-Rex, he doesn't have Snowball, the damage from the tower is going to be too much, he very fires, he'll stay alive, but QO back in for the fight, Living Armor cannot protect him, QO was able to penetrate it, now the Doom will also come in, but that's not the ones you want to see die for Team Liquid fans, Mind Control sprouts up, but he's locked himself in with the Doombringer, QO's right behind another Cycling Dagger, slow him up, the tree is trying to come up to body block him, but they will not be there in time, QO will take the double kill at MVP, what a team fight, they do get the advantage out of it at the end.
it's the nature of their heroes just being so difficult for Liquid to kill. There's so much time for MVP to rotate over. I was looking over for the Doom, like, when is Doom coming in? Does he have a TP? No, he actually just ran all the way from top to mid and made it there to secure them the last 2 kills here, so yeah, that looked very good for Liquid, and I completely understand they went in for that, but like you said, is it too deep? Turned out
it was.
Took too long.
It's amazing how much damage too the G-Rex took. Like that's that high level up in Stifling Dagger. Normally you think about it as just an easy way to get some CS in the lane. But it's in that case it was a great team fight controller. They came in too deep, no snowball, no shots, no ability to control the MVP heroes. And MVP now try and keep this momentum going. They smoke up and they're chasing the one hero they haven't killed off yet. It's Matumberman on the bottom lane with a follow-up spin. You got help coming in from T-Rex. The snowball protect will be there. Febby taking too much damage from the tower. They need to kill him off. The healing wall will be dropping. And Matumberman, he's low. Dubu's trying to finish the job. QO jumps back in, but the call down. They're going to get revenge. QO, his bottle is up. Can he actually find the kill? The Sunstrike, he dodges it by turning back in to attack T-Rex. And the healing wall's been up this entire time.
Such a great play there from Liquid. Immediate TP. It's like they were already expecting this play to come and they just say, okay, if they're smoking bottom, we insta-TP the Tusk. He comes in, he snowball saves, they get the first kill. That gives Matumberman level 6 and he gets the call down as well. Very, very nicely done from Liquid to get a 2-for-1 trade on that one.
They're getting really aggressive up here on the top lane, Team Liquid. They brought Kuro up here, and because of that, now MVP again. But they seem to be reading Liquid's movements really well and just attacking wherever it's a little bit weaker. Fada, not really in a great position to defend against MVP. But then again, they're going to go top. Yeah, okay, they commit the Kuro ulti as well. The tree and block combining it up with the lead seed. They just can't run out, and he's even walking into the Sunstrike. So if he did manage to break free, he would have died to the Invoker.
It's very impressive how much experience Kuroki has managed to get. He's now level 7 on Tree in minute 10. That's very, very rare.
He was only level 4 2-3 minutes ago.
This hero is usually pretty gimped in the early game and just focuses on armoring up the lanes, but Kuro has been in the right place at the right time. He's been part of 3 out of the 6 kills, getting those levels. And now, what I was going to get... Oh, wait a second, Febby. Pretty awkward position here.
He's already used his, okay, he doesn't have a way out, he doesn't have a culling blade. He'll break free now, but Febby, down for the count. And middle lane as well. They go over on Dubu. The TP support's on the way, but this is just kill after kill. And MP, what are you going to do? He ends up committing into that Infernal Blade. A lot of dot damage onto T-Rex. And then the Cycling Dagger, but now again, MVP too deep underneath the cooldown. QO will find some distance, but no! You'll actually have the Wrath of Nature kick through and take out the PA. And Team Liquid getting kill after kill. And MVP's aggression slapping them back in the face. And Team Liquid, they're looking good. But Rev tries to actually grab something there in the mid, but he can't achieve any more. In fact, they're going to lose their tier 1 tower as well.
Liquid are playing very, very fast right now. They move from one lane to the next and just keep finding kills. Once again, Kuroki is involved. It's very easy for Jerax to roll in. A couple of these targets don't offer too much counterplay. And the problem for MVP is that they don't have the support levels. I was going to say earlier, oh, they're doing well in the early game, and one of their supports is a Juggernaut. It's going to be amazing when he hits level 7 and they can start teamfighting with Omni Slash and Spin. They're just not there yet.
Yep.
And Liquid have taken so much control in the last few minutes.
This is something MVP couldn't allow to have happen. Like, Forev is still trying to have space to get up his Radiance. And without that, you don't really feel the big presence of the Lone Druid this early on the fight. QO, maybe you'll get to feel him once that coup de grace is able to actually play a little bit more of a part, but Team Liquid are going to give respect as MVP have brought all 5 players to this mid lane.
Something we haven't talked so much about in this game is, of course, the potential of doing Roshan, where MVP are just flat out way better. They have 4 heroes that very much benefit from Bloodlust, and of course easily able to take the Rosh with tanking with the Bear and using the healing ward. So if at any time MVP feel confident that they can go for it, they will.
Interesting item choice coming up from Sparta. It looks like he's building in for a Rod of Atos. QO, okay,
weird
they're coming
position.
over. This is the big smoke, and QO needs to get back out, but they stunned him up completely. And QO, yeah, he will go down. But Tubman took the rest of the MVP attack, but they just don't have enough to kill him off. But Tubman just kites out perfectly with the help of the rest of Team Liquid. MVP Smoke Gang fails again. And things have just gone downhill since we hit like 5-7 minutes into this game for MVP, but Team Liquid, again they take a fight, and again they'll take an objective, the tier 1 tower on bot lane.
And MVP, they had about a 4K lead minute 8. Now it's gone the other way in the next 5 minutes. Shifting very quickly. The question is if MVP can even regain any sort of position in this game. They've lost their tier 1s. They're going to maybe even take some good damage on this bottom tier 2. I think Liquid feel fairly confident continuing here. And Juggernaut's still level 5 and Ogre the same. This is minute 13. That's one of the risks when you run an aggressive trialing like this. It's good if you do well in the lane, but you need to find your levels. They didn't pull very much. They haven't really been able to rotate very well after the lane. And Liquid, they're racking up.
Yeah, they really are. They're looking really, really good. The only thing which is like kind of against them is the fact that Lone Druid does have 3,500, which means the Relic is coming up shortly, but MVP still need farm. I mean space to allow him to farm up the rest of it. And Team Liquid, they're just claiming more and more on the map, and it's become more efficient as well. This hand of minus Aegis Prophet, he's almost level 11, so we can add the second level of Wrath of Nature into this. Like, Matomaman is probably being the most shut down of all of the Liquid cores, and still, they couldn't kill him when they isolated out. Like, they all ran up, but there was just nothing to work with. Like, that's when the Omni Slash maybe it could have paid off, but you still need to have one isolated target up against a lineup which is able to heal, send invis, as well as have mass treants on the field. So the Omni Slash is not even a guaranteed thing from Febby.
It's really Kuro's living armor that has been causing MVP a lot of trouble. And you look at the draft and you're like, well, they have decent ways of dealing with living armor. They have the Blade Fury, they have Ignite, they have Scorched Earth. There's plenty of things, Infernal Blade, but Kuro's timing on it has been really, really good. He's always ready for it, and of course, him being high level early has made one hell of a difference for Team Liquid and just sustaining. If Kuro was, let's say, the standard treant level at minute 10, which is probably like 4.5, maybe 5 in most games, some of these kills would have been very, very different.
It could have been. The Relic's up on Forev now. But as Liquid take out the tier 2 tower, Mind Control actually TP'd right on top of QO. QO, just for the fact he didn't even go for that kill, shows the fact that he is very, very concerned about where the rest of Team Liquid are. The vision on the map for MVP is primarily focused around Roshan and down in towards the Radiant Jungle entrance. But for that, it means they don't see anything up on this top lane. They have no idea about the positioning of Team Liquid when they're pushing into the tier 2 tower in the mid lane.
When they show top, they might go Rosh. This is double damage for Q. This is the perfect timing for MVP to go for this play.
He doesn't have lifesteal though, that's the only downside for this.
I just tank with the bear. Healing ward. He shouldn't solo it, that's gonna take too long. And actually, no, never mind. They feel like they can't do it. It's gonna take too long. Liquid are already 5-manning top to try to force them back in case they went for Roshan.
The DD room may help them in this fight. But Kira is not coming back yet. Now Team Liquid, they'll start to come high ground. The first damage to the tier 3 tower for the series gets done at 15:30. And that bear, that's a lot of damage being done into it. Forev, he does still have a resummon. But Team Liquid are not giving an opportunity for MVP. If MVP are going to go, they have to jump in deep, and this will bring him in range of the cooldown, not to mention the rest of the ultimate. Kuros controls that bear. It will go down to the Wrath of Nature. The cooldown perfectly on top of MP. He's going to trip up. Febby is spinning himself in, but the black cannon damage from a Tumberman was tearing him apart. So she needs to proper the finds the kill as Zubu locked inside the icy shards. QO just cannot attack in. He's got his double damage room, but he's got no team left.
And MP just way too conservative with Scorched Earth there, and he waited with using it until he had like 400 health and then made for an easy burst kill.
Rev.
They get the bear a second time over. This is 2 lanes of racks.
It is.
I don't see MVP being able to fight mid. I mean, Kyo can try, but good luck jumping into that team.
Yeah, the second he jumps in, the Force Spirits focus him. He loses most of that armor advantage he currently has. But if he waits even longer, then Matumman's got his cooldown back off cooldown in 12 seconds time. Team Liquid. Now, do they give a little bit of respect here to MVP? Do they back up? All 5 players are back up for MVP. They're going to sprout over on Febby. There's that damage. Mind Control pumping out just the physical damage. Ripping through the Juggernaut. Spin just not protecting this game. In fact, it almost hinders the Juggernaut more. And QO, like, you can't stay on the back line any further. Stifling Dagger's doing nothing. They do Momentumers. They don't at least have to deal with the cooldown, but they need to find a way to capitalize here, MVP, if they're going to keep themselves alive in this game. But they sprout up. There's a jump forward for Revs there. But he's basically a bear doing absolutely nothing. No cause. QO is down, and GG. McCall will come down. Team Liquid. They took 2 critical fights against MVP, and after that, it was just a means to an end. MVP will lose game 1. An invented draft, a good start, but they just couldn't hold the momentum since.
Yeah, there were a couple of moments in that game that, you know, when the draft is like this, and Liquid have obviously a lineup they're extremely comfortable with. They have great fighting potential. They have an offlane prophet, like the panel pointed out, that can join the fights. It's so important for MVP that not only do they get a good start in the lanes, but they also need to transition into meaningful items and meaningful experience, basically.
Yep.
And I've said it a lot, but I think the biggest problem for them is that their support duo just falls way too far behind in this game.